Hi, my name is Keith Niehaus. I'm with Niehaus Restorations in Clarksville, Iowa. Today I'm going to show you how to put a repair panel on a Triumph TR4 fender. Here we have a brand new repair panel. Here we have a TR4 fender. It's got the typical rust in the bottom area. This one has a lot of body filler in it, some damage over here. I'm going to show you how to cut this panel off, how to fit the repair panel in its place, and weld it on. Now we're not going to get into any body filler or refinishing. This video will be strictly on metalworking, on how to install this panel. So I'm going to get set up and then we'll get started. This fender has a big dent right in this area, and that dent is causing distortion through here and on this inside lip. So we're going to go ahead and straighten that dent out. If you have damage on your fender like that, you're going to want to get rid of the distortion first, because it'll make it difficult to lay out the repair panel on the fender. Okay, I've got the fender flipped over here, and I'm going to go ahead and hammer this dent out. And if you just have a dolly and a body hammer, you don't have to get it perfect, you just got to get it close. Okay, that should get us close enough to go ahead and fit the panel. Okay, there's three ways that you can mount this panel to the fender. I'm going to talk about all three, but we're just going to do one. The first way would be you could cut this lip off entirely if you wanted to, and cut the fender the same way and overlap it and weld it. That would be considered a lap weld. The second way is you can cut it along here and just butt weld the two. I have a piece of metal here, and you could just butt weld it together. The third way that I prefer is to put a step in the panel. If you look at this piece of scrap metal, there's a tool that I'll show you here in a few minutes that will put a step in the panel, and we'll put the step in the repair panel, and then it'll fit up to the fender itself and be flush when you're done. To give you an example, it'd be just like that, except for we're going to be stepping the repair panel instead of the fender, and I'll explain why later. So I find that's the best way. The key is to always confine your bodywork to the smallest possible area. Regardless of how you do it, you're still going to be, your area is going to be confined quite a bit. You're not going to be up into the main part of the fender. If you overlapped it down low, you'd have this portion of the fender, which isn't bad at all. But if you do it up on top, you've really confined it to a small area. We will be butt welding this portion into the fender up here, and it still keeps the bodywork just in this area and on top. So we'll go ahead and show you the third way that I prefer to do it, and you can do any of the three and they would all work. The first thing you want to do is you want to get a measurement for reference, and we're going to measure this step right here. Before you do that, you want to take a grinder and grind off any paint or body filler. I use a little hand grinder. It's got a 3-inch roll-lock disc, 36 grit, and we're just trying to get rid of the paint up on top and down low here, and make sure that there's no body filler or something there affecting our measurement. put it right in the bottom of the radius, this corner right down in there. And I'm just taking a measurement from that, down in that radius, up to the top middle of this radius, 7/8 of an inch. I've done enough of these that I know that that is the dimension. So I'm going to be refinishing this fender, so I'm just writing it with a marker on the fender itself, 7/8 of an inch. Go check it at the back, and it's actually going to be the same from front to rear. So get that dimension written down. It should be 7/8 of an inch on your fender, because we're going to be cutting this off and losing this all together, except it's really nice to have a reference. I find on these fenders that if this is good, this back edge, that I actually save that corner and I don't cut that off. And we'll get into that, not to worry at this point. We'll get into that and I'll show you what that means. And that really helps a lot to line this fender up and get it exactly right. Before we can lay out our line here where we're going to be cutting, I need to get this new panel, get the step in it, because that's going to give me information that will help me determine where the line should be on the fender. So I'll go ahead and take the step tool and get this stepped all the way across. Start at this end so you can see it better. Now you have a nice place for the fender to lay into, and when you're done you'll have a flush fit. Now we're going to make our cut here, and our first cut's just going to be on this straight line from here to here. Then we'll change the angle so you can see better how to do the ends. I use a cutoff wheel that's a 1/16 of an inch thick. There's some that are 1/8, and that's fine. I typically use a 4-inch one. This one's burned down to about 3 at the moment. So we'll go ahead and do this first cut. Make sure you got your glasses and your shield. Goggles work well also. And remember which side of the line to cut. Okay, that's our straight line. Cut. Now we've got the old panel cut off, and we're now to the point where we can do some final fitting on the new panel. Before we do that though, we've got to get rid of some sharp edges here and the burr on the edge. So just take a small file, and I wouldn't recommend using a grinder or you'll just make this metal thin. Now that I've got the fender deburred, we can go ahead and do some more final fitting. The first place that you want to fit is this back corner. So I'm going to see if I can, right off the bat, I can see that it's hitting up here. So I'm just going to remove a little material off of there. Just use a tin snips. Now it'll allow me to get it to fit tighter. There we go. Back here it fits good. Now I'm going to mark this back corner with a scribe. Now I'll cut that corner off. On the back edge here you got 2 layers, so it cuts kind of hard. And to see the advantage of this corner is it's just going to line you right up with the panel, and this edge will be all defined for you. Okay, I've turned the fender around now, and we're going to get this area marked. Now, I always try to preserve as much of the original fender as possible. So in this case, we're going to be putting the panel in place, clamping it, and I'm going to scribe from the inside onto the new panel, and then I'm going to trim away the new panel. Because I want to keep as much of the original fender as possible, as long as it's not rusted out. Removed, and we've got a really nice scribe line to follow that we can cut. I just wanted to take a moment and give a good close-up of the scribe so you could see how well it transferred over. I need to cut this off because I'm not able to turn as easily with this tin snips. Okay, we keep getting closer and closer on the fit here. Now you want to look at this point right here. Those will want to match up when we get to welding. So just let the panel be underneath. We still need to remove material here, and we're just coming up to it slowly instead of diving into a great big bite. And this time I'm going to go ahead and just cut right on the line, and it should be a nice tight fit. It's okay if there's just a little bit of a gap. If you're talking 32nd or so, that'll easily weld up. So I'm going to kind of dive into the middle of it here. I have the right hand snips now. So we're doing great. There's no fear of going too far. It feels like it's hitting right at the very end. So I'll give that a little relief right there. It looks to me like we're ready to start welding. At this point, we're ready to start fitting the panel for welding. Now we're ready to weld the panel to the fender. Now before I start, I put a couple 2x4s under here to raise this up a little bit and to make it more rigid so it isn't so flimsy. So we're going to clamp the panel to the fender, then we're going to tack weld it. Then we're going to actually take the fender to a car and fit it and make sure things are fitting properly before we weld it up solid. I would highly recommend doing that if you have a car available. Fit the fender to a car to make sure things are looking okay. Now on top it's nice and flat. It's kind of sticking up a little bit there, but that's nothing to worry about. Since the top looks good, I'm going to go ahead and tack that. Now I can hold that into place. while I tack it again. This is lined up nicely. Okay. All right, we have our 3 points captured really well. Before I fit it to the car, I'd like to get a couple right in the main part of the fender. The purpose of tack welds are so you can cut them loose if need be and readjust things. Obviously that's not too desirable, but it's better than being committed to something that doesn't fit. At this point, we'll take the fender and fit it to the car and make sure everything is lining up okay. We're in the storage area of my shop now where I have a vintage Triumph racing car. And as you can see, it's up in the air on sawhorses. We went ahead and bolted the fender to this car to try it out. It fits really well. We're going to take it off now and finish welding it. If you had one that didn't fit so well, you could weld the panel, finish welding it while it's right on the car, and then it would hold its shape. But this one fits really good. We're happy with it. We're going to take it off, take it back into the shop, and finish welding it. All right, we're back at welding again now. So basically it's just a matter of clamping it down and welding it across the top. We're gonna avoid this for the moment, and I'll explain why. So I'm gonna focus mainly on the top. By wire brushing it every so often, you get rid of the weld splatter, and it also kind of lets you see, now once I start welding again, I can see where. Okay, now we're back on the top side. Gonna finish welding across the top here. Nice thing about doing it on this short little offset is it can take a lot of heat, and it really confines the bodywork down to a small area. Okay, at this point we'll switch over to grinding and finish off the welds, and then we'll be done. It's nice to leave that paint up close to the edge until you're done welding, because it keeps the weld splatter from sticking to it. Once you get to this point, you can just feather it back. Okay, the top looks really good. Now we're going to move to this, but I want to turn that so you got a better look at what's going on. Okay, now we're at the front portion here where we butt welded. As you can see, this is the weld that came through from the other side. By welding it from the back side, the majority of the weld gets to stay there, and we're just cleaning up the side that penetrated through. I did hit a couple spots here where I touched it up, but 99% of that is from what came through when we welded from the inside. I'm going to go right to 50 grit on here because there isn't much to do. Be real careful not to make that thin. I built this out with weld a little bit so I could just shape it back. This concludes the video of the repair panel being installed on the TR4 Triumph Fender. The principles that I've shared in this video can also be used in other parts of your car. I want to thank you for watching this video, and I hope that it helps you in the restoration of your Triumph.